everybody, Jay and Manion here at the MPC Photo Gym in Pittsburgh. I am here with IFBB Men's Physique Pro,
Charjo Grant.
All right, Charjo, first time here, brother.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
How's it feel?
It feels wonderful, man. Just coming up in here, looking at all the history, you know, getting it explained to me. I'm very honored to be in here.
Yeah, so a funny story is, I've seen Charjo competing. I follow him on social media, and I saw on his Instagram that he was from South Carolina. So I assumed he still lived there until I saw a post one day where he's at the shop gym in Virginia. So we're at the IFBB Southeast Texas Pro Contest, and I said, "Where do you live?" And he's like,
I live in Virginia.
So I'm like, "Well, you're a stone's throw away from me," you know?
Right.
So I asked him about coming up and doing this, and he got another bonus when he got here. What was the bonus you got as you came in, after you came in here?
I got to meet the man. That's right, Prez. And I took a picture with him. Awesome.
And what was he doing?
He was working out. And you know, a lot of people, they don't know that he still works out, but he is still alive and kicking. He was rowing it out. It was awesome.
Yeah, very few people. I always get people ask, "Does your dad still train?" I'm like, "Yeah, he trains."
Yeah, I saw it firsthand. We got the video. Oh yeah.
So good. All right. So Charjo, give us everybody a little background on how you got into competition, what contests you did, where you qualified to turn pro and stuff. I know it's an interesting story. It's a very personal story for you, and I appreciate you sharing this with me and with everybody else.
Okay. Well, I just start off by saying, I was always athletic. Played college football from little league all the way up through college. Joined the military, so I'm active duty now in Virginia. And I was in the gym somehow because of me playing sports. But I never really got into it too seriously to do any bodybuilding. I was just having too much fun. I would be in the gym and people would say I have a pretty good physique and that maybe I could do something with it. But I was not about that life at that time. I was just having fun. I was enjoying being buff and having drinks and all that good stuff, just partying out, having a great time. It took a significant event to happen in my life in order for me to, bring me to bodybuilding. Actually, about 3.5 years ago, I lost my dad in a freak accident, and it was unexpected. So, he was my best friend, and it is a shock that floored everyone, especially myself, because, like I said, he was my best friend, and I mentally, I can feel myself just getting eaten up alive inside, and I had to make a decision on what I needed to do in order to save my mind. So what I did was, I knew that I was thinking about bodybuilding, but that was really like the decision point that I was like, okay, I need to do bodybuilding because I need to focus on something that's going to take extreme focus and make me, and save myself, because my mind was just going down. So I started, I made my mind up, and then I reached out and I did my research, and I figured out what coaches I wanted to, try to be a part of, and I reached out to Omar Ventura first, and he accepted me. So
he trains a few guys, right?
Yeah, a few guys.
Couple of guys.
Yeah, big shout out. They're good. But yeah, so he took me under his wing, and it's been nothing but greatness ever since. So I started competing in 2018. Did 2 regional shows in the Virginia, the DMV area. I did well. I qualified for nationals, and then my 3rd show was North American. I did North Americans, where I got 5th. And the funny story about that is, when I got called out for first call out, everybody was excited, but I didn't know what was going on because I was so young in the game. I was doing it for different reasons. I was bodybuilding to save myself, not bodybuilding to actually become a pro or be in the Olympia or anything like that. I was just trying to save myself, so I didn't know the odds and ends of what being in first call out really meant. So once I got 5th place and people started talking to me and explaining it to me, I was like, oh, okay, we did pretty good. And actually, we were going to shut it down. That was going to be my last show because I had been prepping all year. And I had been running from April all the way to November. So that was a pretty long prep,
Right.
but was much needed for my mental state. So, once that happened, he said, the judges, I got some judges feedback, and the judges were like, just tighten up a little bit, just a little bit more cardio and you would have got a better place. And you cannot tell a competitor that, because what are they going to do? We're going to blast ourselves with cardio
Right.
and come right back. So that's exactly what we did. I buckled down on the cardio, and then we showed up in Miami at Nationals, and we got our pro card. So it was a very exciting time. And even at that moment, again, I still didn't realize how prestigious getting a pro card was. Like I said, this is my first year. I have no idea. So it wasn't until after, maybe a few months, and I was able to talk to a few pros and talk to my coach to really let it settle down. Like, brother, you just got your
Right.
pro card, man. That is a great accomplishment. People spend, it takes some people years, and some people don't even get it. So this is an awesome thing.
Right.
So we took that and we sat out for a while. We actually moved into, I wanted my pro debut to be at Tampa. So in 2019, Tampa Pro was my pro debut. It was the last show of the year,
Right.
qualifying year. So I pretty much just sat out and kind of built myself and build up and, on the areas that I thought I needed to work on. And we came out and at Tampa Pro, and we got 10th place. I'll tell you another funny story about that. So, so I'm out there, I'm posing, I'm finding out that I'm getting blocked out by my veteran buddies. I don't know.
Right.
So a learning experience. But anyway, I had a great time out there, and I was just glad to be out there. So I didn't think I was going to be in first call out. I knew that I wasn't going to be last, but I knew I didn't know if I was going to be in first call outs or not. So what ended up happening when they brought us back for finals, they lined us up and they had us all in one area, and they said, all right, I'm going to call the top 10 guys. You guys come line up over here. And they called my name. I was bugging out.
Yeah.
Like, you can ask all the guys. I was just bouncing around like, what am I doing back here? What am I doing back here? I'm with all these guys, these veterans, and here I am, this young guy in the top 10, didn't know where I was going to fall at that point.
Right.
But at the top 10 at one of the most competitive shows, in the IFBB.
Yes.
That Tampa Pro is, and it was the last one of the
Right,
year.
because in normal times, that
Yeah.
is the final qualifier for the Olympia. So
Yeah.
everybody's there, one way or
Absolutely.
another. There's even people that are qualified, but they want to get there. They want to get critiques from the judges. So it's not just people looking for wins or points. It's for pointers also.
Absolutely. So then we went back to back. Since we did well there, we went to San Antonio Pro, and we got first call out there. So that was my first points that I got to qualify for this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So people, last year in 2019, San Antonio is the week right after Tampa. So after Tampa on Monday, everything goes back to zero. Normally after Tampa Pro, all the Olympia points qualification system, everybody's at zero starting on Monday.
Yeah.
So everything after that would be qualified for the following year.
Absolutely. So once we did that, we got some points, and then we did 2 shows after that. We did okay, but we didn't get any points. So we geared it down, shut it down for the remainder of the regular year, and then COVID happened. We're all dealing with that, and luckily I was able to have some equipment in my apartment. So I can keep myself moving and all that stuff. I mean, everybody was online buying everything.
Right.
It was so hard
Yes.
to find fitness equipment. Luckily, my gym owner had some equipment that he was selling because he's always switching things up.
Right.
And I was able to, get some things from him. But yeah, I stayed working. I worked out throughout the whole entire, pandemic, and it really showed because once we came out for Wasatch Warrior, we looked amazing. That was the best I've ever seen myself.
And it's amazing that you look that way because of why? What happened to you before that? You had an injury, you said, right?
That's right. I actually
You're trying to block that out still.
yeah. No injuries. All right, so what ended up happening was 3 weeks out from the Wasatch Warrior, I ended up like having a small tear in my rotator cuff, and I could not do a pull-up. Like seriously, from a guy doing pull-ups every day to not even doing pull-ups, it was devastating. And all my pulling motions it was extremely tough, but I was able to rehab it with my guys at Kaiser Health in the DMV area. They were able to help me out, man, and get me back to where I needed to be. But, you know, luckily I was doing a lot of back, and my back had developed so much during that time that, because I didn't do a full pull-up for at least 8 weeks.
Wow.
Like, I did like 2 shows without even doing, you know, pull-ups.
Right.
Yeah, so we finally got back to 100%, and we did a few more shows. Well, we've done every show.
Yeah.
We've done every show up until now. We've placed very well, so I'm very proud of that. And, you know, luckily, well, not luckily, I'm just blessed to be in the position that I'm in right now, because I went from a guy who didn't even know what a pro card was to a guy who could possibly make the Olympia.
Yeah, so right now, Charjo is tied with a point system to go or not go. So he has about a month left to the Chicago Pro, which is in Atlanta this year. But yeah, so you're down to the wire here, right?
Yeah, down to the wire.
He is doing Chicago, but
yeah,
and you're not sure if you're gonna be able to do the battle, right?
Right. I don't know if I'll be able to do the battle because of work relations. If they let me off, you better believe I'm going to be there. But if not, you know, it's not meant to be, then we'll try to do it at Chicago.
So pretty much either way, you're going into Chicago with a vengeance.
Absolutely.
To get on that Olympia stage, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1,000%. You know, I'm focused, zoned out. Everything is in. We've got it. We're so close. I mean, we work so hard for what? You know, we got to get it.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So how long have you been in the military?
18 years. I've been in the military 18 years. Started off in the Army National Guard. I'm still in the Army National Guard, but now I'm active duty with the National Guard. There's a difference. So I have total of 18 years of total service, but 12 years active federal service with them. So if I want to, people ask, so what's the difference? People want to know. Like, there's 2 different kind of retirements.
Okay.
National Guard retirement is after you serve your 20 years, you can get your letter, you can get out, and then you won't get paid until you're like 65 or something like that. Versus an active duty retirement at 20 years, as soon as you get out, you get paid immediately. So even though I'm getting ready to come up on 20 years, I don't want to wait till 65 to get paid. I need to get paid now. So, so I'm going to just go the entire 20 years active duty so I can get paid as soon as possible. That's right.
Well, thank you for your service, but the question is, how can he be doing this 18 years? Look at him. You don't look like you're a day over 25. Come on.
Hey, that's good genetics, I guess.
I'm going to look at his ID after this. I hope you brought a passport too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm 35, so I am 35 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people, I don't know, it just seems like as I get, you know, better and progress in this bodybuilding world, you know, and people get to know who I am, you know, it's like, who is this guy? Because literally at Wasatch Warrior, when I got the first call out, people was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. I mean, what I actually honestly remember him from, and it wasn't nationals, unfortunately, it was at last year's North American when Raymond Edmonds brought a couple of the guys. He goes, I got some young bucks here, some young lions, get some pictures. And of course, you know, he was torturing you the whole time.
That's right. That's my teammate.
Yeah, I took some pictures of them. So speaking of Raymond, he told me something after he won the Olympia. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious if you agree with this. Okay.
Okay.
He says that it's a tall man's game now. Since he won.
Hey,
You're taller than me. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot even.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to agree with him. as long as we can fill out and bring that frame, we'll be good to go. I agree. I'm with you, Raymond. Yeah.
I got to believe him. He's got the title and the gold medal.
He does.
And the trophy. So.
He does. And he's from Pittsburgh. Yeah.
He told me that day, the one day we were down here doing this interview after he won. I was dying.
Yeah.
And those of you that know Raymond, you know how he said it and everything else. So you can just picture in your head.
Oh yeah. Definitely. He's a good guy. Yeah.
So now you've got your sights set on this. Mm-hmm. You're ready to go.
Yep.
Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, thanks to, or anything like that?
Well, I'm a believer, man. So I'm always going to thank the Lord first, because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in today. So I'm very thankful.
So for that, not to cut you off, but to cut you off, is my father asked him, what this says here. Mm-hmm.
So he asked me what my tattoo said here, and it's by God's grace. So it's by God's grace while we're here, while we're still able to do what we do. It's by His grace that He allows us. So I'm very thankful like I said, I'm very thankful for the position that I'm in. And I also would like to thank my coach, Omar Ventura, for taking me under his wing. He didn't know who I was, of course, and for believing in me once he got me, that we could do something special. So I thank you for that, Omar. Also, my mom, she's always there. She was at Nationals doing the interviews with me. She is like my #1 fan. So my mom is awesome. I have a daughter that's 20 years old.
There you go.
I have a 20-year-old daughter. Imagine that.
He's 25. I don't believe he's 35, but whatever.
Yeah. So all my ladies, I call them my lovely ladies, because I have a mother and I have a lot of sisters, a few brothers, and my daughter. So they take care of me and make sure I stay grounded.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. The reason he brought up because he said he played collegiate football at Newberry down in North Carolina, and I said I actually knew that school because my daughter played soccer at Belmont Abbey, and they were in the same conference. Mm-hmm. They're right down the road from each other, basically. Yeah. We traveled that whole circuit.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm sure you did too. So.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but all right. So we are gonna get rolling on some training videos, some other things.
Yep.
He's gonna be showing us some of his practices posing later, but. Now, if anybody wants to follow you on social media, where do they go?
They can follow me at IAMCHARJO. That is I am Charjo. And it's Charjo.
I like how you put that in parentheses so people understand that.
Yeah.
What did they say? How did they say it? I mean, when I first saw it, that's how I thought it.
Some people call me Cargo.
Okay.
Chargo. It's.
I like cargo.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But it is not. It is a very unique name. So I've been dealing with this for my entire life. So I just figure I help everybody out by just put the syllables in there.
I like that.
Joe. You can't mess it up. It's too easy. Just read it as like it was written. Charjo.
All right. And that's the perfect way to end this.
Yeah.
All right. J.M. Manion.
And Charjo.
Signing off for NPCNewsOnline.com.
That's right.